Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with another challenge accepted. This week, Shannon and I are doing something a little different. I don't know if you all are familiar with the April Creative 2020 three-step challenge that Vicki Boutin has published. And there's a lot of activity on this. She published 30 prompts, and you could do one a day, or you could wait up and catch up and do 5 a day, or however you want to do it. You could do 23 before you do 5 and so forth, just following. She's got a photo challenge, an art challenge, and a color challenge. And so today, when you see this is going to go live on the 16th, but we're choosing to do the prompt for the 17th. And the photo prompt is close-up. So I have a close-up photo that I took of my grandson Barrett after he had just colored his hair. So amazing what kids find to do during lockdown. Tissue paper and navy green and gray. So I've selected, let me go through my paper selection so I can get these things off the table. I've got this bottom pattern, the plaid, that's navy and green and gray and black and brown. There are a few other colors. This is kind of a brownish green, and then there's a Kelly green. I love the greens in here. And then this main stripe through there is navy, and then there's a gray through there. So my entire color scheme is represented in that one piece of paper. It is a Glitz Design 2013 vintage that's part of the Dapper Dan series. And I, at the time, bought the Dapper Dan with stamps and everything that came with it, and then didn't use it much. I used little boy stuff for Barrett, but he's getting to be a big boy now, so I'm gonna call him a Dapper Dan. The gray stripe up at the top and the diagonal gray stripe are from this piece of paper, and I've saved this part out because it's my favorite part of it, and I'll probably run this across a sheet of white cardstock and use it for a different layout. This is from Amy Tangerine Plus One, and the pattern is called Sidekick, and it's a great pattern. The other side of it is these arrows, and I've used that side before because I was kind of hoarding this, and I think I have 2 more sheets of this, which is yay me. So I'm going to put that aside and move on. I have a piece of acetate packaging on the floor that my foot keeps touching, and it's driving me crazy. So excuse me. Thank you for indulging my need to get rid of that. Okay, I'm going to use one of my go-to designs, which is 7 inches of a more busy pattern down at the bottom of a page, and 5 inches of a more neutral type pattern at the top. A strip across here, and I have another strip that I may work around the photo, kind of like this, just to introduce that yellow, because the yellow is going to appear in a couple other places. I've chosen, oh, by the way, everything I'm using is from my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit, except the tissue, which is the a requirement that of the challenge, and I didn't have this in my kit. So let me, first of all, I'm using some gift tissue, scalloped edge gift tissue, probably from, well, I don't know, it looks like the price tag makes it look like it's probably from Tuesday morning. So I'm going to pull a piece of the music tissue, and then I'll tear a part of the matting for the photo, and that will be my use of tissue paper here. I'm kind of gonna, what I think I'm gonna do here is just cut a piece that I know is way too big, figure out what I want of that, and then tear it and crumple it and crimp it and all of those things that make tissue paper such a wonderful material to add texture and interest. So let's see. I want to have it in between the photo and the green, as the this green is from a premium stack by Die Cuts with a View that's Cafe Mediterranean cardstock matte stack, and it's 4.5 by 6.5 inch cardstock. And I printed my photo at a little bit less than 4 by 6 so that there'd be enough of that green so that some of it would show underneath this tissue. So that's my idea there. And this is part of my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit. So let me kind of see where the music notes line up the best. And I think what I'm gonna just do is maybe crumple it up. That kind of gives it some extra texture when you do this. I'm gonna like this side better than this side because the music notes run along there, but I do like that. So I think the next thing I'm gonna do is just kind of, I'll probably pleat in a couple places, just kind of crimp it up and let that crimp go all the way out to the edges. And then I'm just gonna lay the photo down where I like what's showing out on the edges of it. And now I'm just gonna kind of tear, realizing that I may go into the photo, and that's okay because that's when the green background will show. But I want a fair amount of the tissue paper to show the outside of the photo. The elements that I'm going to use from my, I went through my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit looking for green and navy blue and gray things, and I pulled everything from scrap papers to packaging to a lot of sentiments. And let's see how that works. I like that a lot, and I think I'm going to add some depth to it by putting some foam behind it. I was watching a video yesterday by Krista Ferrato in her last week's Mixed Media Frenzy, and she used corrugated cardboard instead of foam to lift her photo up, and that's great when you're going to do a lot of mixed media, really heavily dimensional mixed media bits. This one doesn't need to be up that high. It gave me a great idea for a mixed media piece. Her, if you haven't seen it, I'd recommend you check the Mixed Media Frenzy for last week. Her piece, her interpretation of the sketch was absolutely brilliant. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do this. Make sure I have some green showing all around. That will work. And now I'm going to, do I want another layer to lift there? I may do that just so that I can tuck some things under if I choose to do so. Okay, so I'm gonna put it like this, and I think I'm gonna put it a little bit over to the left because I have something that I wanna put in the right corner. Let me line this up. It's kind of hard to see when I'm raising it up like that, but because those stripes are horizontal, any misalignment would actually show. Okay, I'm gonna assume that's good. That color scheme, navy, green, and gray, is kind of a challenge for me. I'm going to put this, I'll cut this like that. Well, actually, let me do something a little bit different here. I will actually, ooh, that's pretty too. The reverse of that is this pretty green. This one piece right here is from the newest collection, the Let's Wander collection. And the other Vicki Boutin stuff I have on here mostly comes from Wildflower and Honey, but but some of it comes from other collections. Okay, I'm going to have to cut this straight because it's going to have to go up. Well, do I want it? I'll tear that edge too. I'll tear it so the tear shows. There. Let's see if that works, and I want to line it up with the correct gray stripe. Okay, so that actually really kind of guides your eye into the photo. And I like it. I like it when I plan it that way and it works, but I especially like it when I was just adding it for the color and it does that. Okay, now we're gonna do the fun part, the embellishing. I have an idea. I'm going to be writing some journaling on this card. Let me add a gray and white. I actually have some gray and white baker's twine. Obviously, it has never been unwound or used. It's in a Halloween collection from Doodlebug. I'm just gonna cut it because I'm in a hurry. Let me get here. I'm not gonna get real sophisticated with this. This tag is from I think I'm recognizing the colors. It's from a Christmas collection by My Mind's Eye that we got as a gift at one of the Scrap Happy retreats. I'm going to go ahead and tie a bow. Anyway, I'm going to write some journaling on here, kind of, you know, a little bit how the coronavirus lockdown and the extended time away from friends and just activity, sports, things like that, have affected the kids, and specifically Barrett. He's kind of I'd say experiencing some depression, or, you know, not sure, you know, certainly not a clinical diagnosis, but I think he's not a happy camper at the moment. And this was a smile I captured on his face, so I love it. This is packaging, and what I thought I would do, his name is Barrett, so we call him B, so I want this B to be prominent, and I thought I'd just kind of use that as a holder for this tag. So I'm going to tape it down exactly in the corner, and then I'm not going to tape down the parts that need to be movable when I insert that tag. So I'm going to do it very precisely, and I need to move this up so you can see it. Okay. And I'm just going to stick this in here for now. It covers up, it lets the bee show, it has the honeycomb there, and it covers up the flower. The flowers are not part of the color story, but they do make a nice accent, and this yellow flower is the reason I wanted that yellow strip up there. Okay, so given I went through my kit and kind of just found all kinds of green and navy blue things. One thing I found were these. These are navy and white. It's a navy and white pattern. I thought I might do something like that up here and have some of the embellishments kind of gathering up here to balance this. Let me see. I'm not sure I like those without something else there. I found some green flowers and this kind of green source. These are from Paige Evans, Truly Grateful. And then I have another bee. So I could kind of, here, let me do this. I'll pop these up on some foam to give them some dimension. And then I'll arrange them with that green flower. Maybe there. Pop it up too. And this one I may do under there. And this other one, I think I actually have a half, which would go nicely kind of right in there. And I might layer this flower with the bee kind of up here, off to the side. And let me get the bee. Where did the bee go? Aha. Here it is. And I'm actually going to use a foam dot for that. Let me place it right there. And now to add a bit of an accent up there, I have some leaves. I have another green flower. Here, I have this flower, which kind of reflects that. It's, of course, a totally different looking flower, but it would just add that small accent color that actually would make the greens look greener. So I'm going to do it there. See, just not so that it's prominent, but it's kind of right there. Now, other stuff, I had this in mind just to be peeking out because it has the navy blue and lots of greens, and I love it, and I haven't used it yet, so this is my chance. And yes, those are flowers on a boy layout, but hey. This is a Bella Boulevard acrylic overlay that has lots of fussy cuttable words that I have been using. I think I got this in my very first kit, Secret Not Secret Kit Club kit from Christina Sword. And Christina's gonna die laughing when she hears that I still have some of these words left, but since this is a very current photo and it kind of reflects, or at least reminds us of what's going on in the world these days. Let me see if that's one of those that peels. Some do. In some cases, I've already peeled it off the larger. I think this one doesn't peel. I'm going to, if I put it here, you just can't read it. So I could put it there or just right here and let it overlap the yellow. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And this glue dries clear and with a matte finish, so it will not show. It doesn't even show now. Okay, so that's there. I've got this Be Happy that I had thought about using, but I think I'm going to reject that and use it somewhere else. I have a navy blue butterfly that the top of the wings are cut off, but it could maybe go like that. Let me fussy cut that and use it. The butterfly is appropriate because he kind of came out of his chrysalis and dyed his kind of what you would call dirty blonde hair, this dark brown. He went orange for leukemia awareness back when Ava was first diagnosed about a year ago. And I'm going to cut the butterfly's antennae off because they wouldn't show anyway. And for this, I'm going to put a little liquid glue, kind of insert it right up in there. It's kind of getting lost behind the tissue, which is what I wanted. Don't know if that's a good idea, but it's what I wanted. I have a tab here that's green and has a date, place for a date. Since I've put this up at the top, I don't know that I really need this, although I could do it right there. So let me do that. First, let me write the date. This was taken the night before Katie's birthday, so it was the 11th. Okay, and I'm going to put a little liquid glue on it. check and see if it's straight. I think it needs a little more coaxing down there. Okay, there. Now, I'm gonna some other things. This doesn't need to be there. I have a little white acrylic arrow that was kind of hanging around that I thought I'd want to use. I've got a small green piece right there, a little bit, a yellow flower, which could maybe go right in there. Let's do that. I'll lose track of the yellow flower and it won't get used at all if I don't do something with it now. It worries me that I've lost that white okay, the white the little white arrow, but I'm not going to worry about it too terribly much. I've got this, which is this Cocoa Vanilla Studio from a bigger piece, and it's navy blue. I could have it come down intersecting with the Today and then put something smaller there. And again, that's a piece that might have ended up in the trash, but I thought I might find a use for it. I'll let that go there, and what might I want to put there? Got that You Amaze Me, which works. The Right Now, it's too big. I'm gonna go back to this little green flower and maybe combine it with this and see what else I can do to accent that area. So let me push these things away. Where did that go? Okay, right here. I'll kind of put it a little bit off to the side there. It's also from the Truly Grateful collection, and this I have no idea where that's from, but I'm glad I have it. It's a different shade of green, and it goes more with the kind of lime green stripe that's in there, and that's my kind of green. Okay. Trouble with the tiny pop dots as usual. Let me kind of put, you can still see that that's the word Today, even if I have that overlapping it a bit. And then, do I want this green leaf? Maybe it's kind of big, so let me cut it down and I'm gonna kind of fold it in like that. Okay, there. And I have this little green tag type thing. It's not gonna use that. Don't see anything too interesting there. I have the bottom part of a leafy thing that's kind of doesn't go with that leaf. I could do something there. Yeah, my goal is to use all these bits, so it's kind of like putting, I don't know, scraps on a scrapbook layout. These are truly, well and truly scraps. And I don't want to throw them away. There's enough of an image or, you know, I kind of like the colors. So that works well enough there. And it's not, neither of these things really, you know, is an important part of the layout. I've got this arrow. In the absence of the arrow I seem to have lost. It's one of those things, as are many of these things, bits that could have ended up in the trash, and maybe they were like the very last thing on a sticker sheet, or something that that's a wood grain that kind of picks this up, but it has that crisscross thing, so I'm not going to use that. I've got a bit of gray paper here that just could be a layer kind of out here, so I'll reserve that. I've got this thing that says right now. Maybe layer that up there. It has the navy blue and it has these other colors that are in some of the flowers, but I actually prefer this thing, that's banner that says "You amaze me," and that's a true statement. So let me, these things, I had also thought I might use this bit right here. It's black and gold and has no particular roll anywhere, but I'm going to cut it into, use the larger part kind of right there, again providing a something that guides your eye to the photo. And it kind of dresses it up with that little bit of bling and a little bit different pattern, being dots instead of stripes or diagonals. I have some wood. There is an arrow. Okay, this one is cute. This one says okay, and I might be okay with it appearing on the layout, kind of just off to the side of the photo. Let me do this. Still not the white arrow. I'll find it when I'm cleaning off the table after the video. Let's do this. I'm going to kind of tuck it over here. That's not sticking. I guess it's been around a while. Okay, let me fix that by giving it some liquid glue. This will get it stuck. And I'm going to do the same thing for this little bit here. Okay, now here's this, which I'll also reinforce with some liquid glue. Again, I want to kind of tuck it a little bit under the tissue here. And it kind of says, today, okay. I have a little bag of wooden embellishments, and I saw one that I liked, this check mark. I think this is part of a kind of school-related kit from Creative Cuts Club, and it's a check mark, but it seems to work by the OK and today here. So I'll kind of layer it there so it's picking up some of the plaid paper underneath it. Now I want to put this up on some foam. And it is just the right color, and it's mostly solid, so it'll stand up nicely on that plaid. If I had anything any busier there, like the one that had the multiple colors there, it wouldn't necessarily show. So let me tuck that in, make sure it's straight. Okay, and now my question is, do I want to use this arrow or not? And I think not. I also had this word hey, and I kind of like these kinds of words being, doesn't show down here. If this were a different kind of paper, this would work down here, but it really doesn't work this close to my title. So I'm going to call it quits, and let's see if I have anything else over here that works. I like having arrows, and I thought I'd do that, and I have these toadstools. I think that's enough for down in that corner. I have a brad. I don't even know what it says. This is from a collection, and it almost doesn't matter what it says. Would that brad look good there? And I think it would, which makes this kind of a trio of embellishments. So let me dig a hole in there. I want it about right there. This is not a professional way to dig a brad hole. You know, back in the day, they actually sold tools that were meant for that. And I didn't use one then, and I don't use it now. That actually went through the washi tape that's holding the back together. I washi taped it to get the 12 by 12 dimensions, and then I lifted it up and put some double-sided adhesive to hold it there. And then I further reinforced it by layering these things over it. Okay, so I think I've met Vicky's challenge for a close-up photo, tissue paper, and the color story of navy green and gray with the occasional coral and yellow accents. And I will add journaling to this card, and then kind of adhere it down, and maybe you can just lift this up to read it. I think that makes it sort of semi-hidden journaling, and since I'm talking about something that's not the pretty side of the reaction to all of this. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the process, crazy as it was. And I'm really happy to have used all these things from my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit, and I'm very happy with the layout. This is an edit from the Waterlog app, and it's called Get Technical. Is the name of it, and these tend to have lines outlining the the image, and then it looks like it's printed on graph paper. And it really does a nice job of, this was a portrait photo anyway, where all of this was blurred. And this is actually my desk and a lot of my craft room that's behind him where the photo was taken. And there was, when I saw it, I saw the greens and the brownish greens and this navy blue up here. So I kind of thought that the edit would go with a lot of the things that I'd chosen. So again, thanks for watching. Appreciate all of your support. And if you're so inclined, hit subscribe, leave me a comment, tell me what you like, tell me what you didn't like, tell me what you'd like to see me do next. So thanks again. Bye. See you next week. Let me get my magic remote.